Hi, everybody. My name is John Stone with the Stones Real Estate Team at Century 21. And who might you be?
Oh, I might be Katherine Justice at Gentilly Real Estate here in Fresno, California.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great.
Awesome. Awesome. Great day today. So, John, tell me why we're doing this YouTube channel.
Well, with our vast amount of experience, not saying we're old, but we've been around for a while. I think you've been in the business 20 years. I've been in this side of the business 12. I find, and I know this is true of you, there is a lot of information that may not be as accurate as it should be. And so we'd just like to put information out to help the general public, help them buy and sell homes and do it profitably and help change their life.
All right, I agree with that. And hopefully we'll get some questions on this that we'll
Yeah.
be able to answer for you guys, because we understand that it's kind of a difficult transaction. It's not the easiest thing in life that you do. But so tell me, John, how did you get in real estate, and what makes you stay in real estate?
Two good questions. So right out of college, I started in building materials. I actually worked for Lumberjack here in town.
Oh, that's
A long time ago.
a long time ago.
Ended up working for a building materials wholesaler. So
Okay.
we worked with the lumber yards and the builders in town.
Okay.
One of the things I did was help design floors and some new products, getting them into the homes, and did some of that stuff. Went through the housing crash in 08, 09.
That was tough.
I got laid off, fired. They said it was laid off, but the pay was the same. I was fired.
It was zero, right?
Went through a bankruptcy. Could not get hired. I'd always get a first interview, sometimes a second interview. It was very evident. I was 50 at the time. It was very evident that no one was going to hire a 50-year-old person, although I had all the skills for the particular
Crazy.
jobs, or maybe even overqualified. Couldn't get hired.
And you were only 50.
I was only 50.
Wow.
And one of my clients that I used to have, his company went out of business in 09. And he's probably my best friend today. And he told me that if I ever got out of the building materials wholesaling business to go into real estate, I'd be really good. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I've always liked real estate. My wife and I, when we were first married, we had no money. And so we used to go on the weekends, go to open houses and look at homes and see how
Oh,
they're
you were
decorated.
those people.
We were those people. we were the people that you just like, oh my God, here's the looky-loos, right? But I've always had a love for real estate. So couldn't get hired. I needed a job. Took my friend's advice, got licensed. I kind of have a little bit of a unique story where I had no money to do any advertising. I could hardly buy business cards. I decided that I was going to do open houses to get clients. That's where I was going to meet them. And
Right.
did my first open house. Sold the first open house first day. Those people,
Wow.
once we closed, they lived right next door. We sold their house.
Wow.
About four of the neighbors there's a 20 home street. About four of the neighbors came through that open house. We connected, bought and sold many homes with them, and my career took off. I haven't looked back since.
Well, those people must have really liked you.
Yeah, it was funny. They because they just moved next door, and I hadn't done the transactions yet with the other people, but we'd started looking, and it was one of those streets where they all had young kids, and so they'd have a street block party, and of
fun.
course they invited me, and I didn't live too far.
that's nice.
Kind of in the neighborhood, but not really. And so they invited me, and they introduced me to all the neighbors. Oh, this is our neighborhood realtor. So it was just right place, right time.
Wow.
God was watching out for me. He put me in that situation,
Very cool.
and it went, and haven't looked back since.
Wow. So, but you also have a family.
I do. I've been married for 37 years.
Wow,
to
that's
the
impressive
same
in
woman.
itself, right?
She's changed everything in our life, except me.
Yeah, we'll have to
So,
talk to her
yeah,
about that.
right.
Okay.
3 kids, just the best kids ever. Of course, I'm sure every parent says that, or most parents say that.
Most.
One of them works with me in the business, JP. He's part of my team. I'm an avid hunter, love the outdoors, love to hunt and fish. And that's kind of it for me.
And he's got a gorgeous little granddaughter.
Oh, I forgot my granddaughter.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
can't do
how did I
that.
do that? So I have a 5-year-old granddaughter,
Yeah, she's beautiful.
and I'm Papa John.
Aw, see, and she hugs me all the time too.
And
So
when they say being a grandparent is the best, and I know you have 3, I think.
I have 4.
4. It is absolutely the
Yeah.
best because you
Yeah.
get to love on them, you get to spoil them, you get to just have fun with them, then you get to send them home.
Well, see, all the things that you learned on your children, okay, you don't have to do all the discipline. You don't
Nope.
have to do all that.
All
You
the fun things.
You get to do all the fun things with grandkids. So that's what brought you into this business.
Yeah.
And so what keeps you here?
So I've found that when I started, I was humbled, and I found that I could really help people because I kept myself educated. I tried to get to know the client and really what they were after, because most people know kind of what they're after, they don't know how to get there.
Right.
And I love that part of the business. I love the connection. Most of the things I do outside of work is with some of my clients. We stay in touch all the time. I
Right.
know about their kids and their grandkids, and
You can become friends with
you
some
really
of
do.
them. You really do.
You really do. And I just love that part of the business. And
Awesome.
yeah, it's just been a godsend for me.
Wonderful.
And how about you?
Oh, well, I got a story that's a little bit like yours in a sense. I'm a single mom of 5 children. They are all grown. I would say they made it to there, okay, after having 5.
Knowing you, I understand.
And so I came from a background of restaurant management, grocery management, and I was in a job where it was very, very difficult with a very abusive, more or less, district manager. Now he would never be able to get away with that, but you got to remember this was 20 years ago. And I literally one day put the keys down and said, I'm done, kick rocks, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, maybe I threw him a little bit. I don't really remember.
I'm sure you threw them.
But I was done. And I still had 4 kids at home. The baby was 8. He's my baby. And I went out to the car. I cried and said, now, God, what am I going to do? Well, God led me down a path that I've always wanted to go into, but with raising kids, that paycheck with a family that giving up a weekly or a biweekly paycheck is super difficult in our industry. It's you're raising a family, you have responsibilities. Right. So to give that up and not go back into a job, and I'm like, but this is something I've always wanted to do. Maybe this happened for a reason. Studied 24/7. We moved into a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. We had lawn furniture in the living room. We did have a TV, but we had lawn furniture in the living room. It did work. It did, absolutely, barely. And then we had a orange pleather dining room set, which now I could probably get a lot of money for, right? Hand-me-down furniture in the bedrooms, and just didn't have much. We didn't. And so credit cards, what little I had, was maxed out. And so I studied and I studied, and I decided to go into real estate because we had had a bad experience when I was married and lived up north. And I never want people to go through that, what we had to go through. And that maybe there's another story. But so I passed my test, but I had no money. And back then I did win my unemployment, but that was only good for 6 months. And it took me that long just to get a test date, okay? Yeah. So I went to work for Larson Brothers, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Photography company here.
Yeah, photography company for all the schools. Comb dirty hair, wipe snotty noses, the whole 9 yards, because I needed a little bit. And then I got a lead on what we call floor calls, and the agent that was actually her turn to take it said she didn't want it because it was just a mobile home.
Interesting.
And I'm hungry. Like we don't have much,
you
right?
gotta eat, right?
I'm like, I'll sell mobile home. I don't care, right? And so I took the call and connected with the agent and told her that she needed to interview more than one. I was winging it, basically, is what I was doing. Just using common sense, really. And got over there, connected with her, listed it, got a call from an attorney who couldn't get a hold of his real estate agent, and said, I want to make an offer for my mother-in-law, and I want to make it now. Can you meet me? So we met at the table in my client's house, sat down, wrote it together, and called it a day, and it took off after that.
So you were brand new.
Brand
First
spanking new.
transaction.
Yeah.
And you went up against another agent.
Yeah.
How'd you win it?
I connected with the seller. I found common ground with her. Mm-hmm. We both had 5 kids. We both had big families. We were our families were close, and we just really connected just as a person, just talking.
Nothing to do
her.
with real estate. It was
Nothing to do with real estate.
I trust you. I like you. I want to work with you.
Exactly. That was all it is. So that was my first one. Everything went great, and then I have made it my mission, I guess I want to say, to take care of people in our industry as best as I can.
Amen.
So I try to love on them. I try to make sure they realize that they're valued and important, even if they're not buying something at that moment, right? Because sometimes people don't buy anything for 5, 10 years, whatever. But when they have special things that happen in their life, there's birthday parties, there's quinceaneras, there's promotions in their business. I just completely want to love on my clients because I think it's important to make people feel valued.
Yeah. They become part of your people.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I'm hanging in all this time, because I actually really, really enjoy what I do.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, okay, well, you know a little bit about the both of us and how we got into this industry. Thank you for watching, listening. We really, really appreciate you hanging in there till the end.
And if you have any comments, we'd love to see those. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell so you get notified.
Right.
We are going to do another one of these next week.
Right.
We're going to talk about inventory and how it relates to buying and selling and pricing and whether you should or shouldn't. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.